And the idea being that it's always listening. And if we don't make it aware that it's always on, or we don't know how to stop it during specific times where maybe there is no consent and or whatever, we can run into some pretty big problems. And I know, Jay, you actually had an experience where you almost weren't asked, but I think they ended up asking you recently, correct?
Yeah, I actually became a patient not too long ago. And while in the system as a patient, I went to the emergency room to be seen, and I was presented with a physician came in, asked about how things were going, how I was feeling, and all that. And before I started to answer, I saw that he had set his phone down with his microphone kind of facing me, and I was just it kind of struck me a little bit. And he says, "Oh, I'm so sorry. This is a new thing that we're doing. I forgot to ask, but do you mind if I record this via an AI app that we're utilizing in order to be able to get a better recollection of the meeting for when I take notes, and I'll be able to transcribe it and then just adjust notes as needed." I had no problem with it. I was like, "Oh, no, no, that's not a problem at all." I do have one question for you, though. What happens with my information? Is it out there training healthcare LLMs? Am I giving you my permission to use my data? Like what are these things? In his answer, which I don't know if we should really expect the end user
Fair
um,
enough.
in a hospital to know the answer, but at the same time, you kind of want them to know the answer. His
Hmm.
answer was, I don't know. I have no idea what happens with this. I don't know where it goes. All I know is I record it, and at the end, it makes a note for me, and then I adjust the note based on our conversation. And a little later on, I figured out, so I asked him what the application was. He told me, and I went and spoke with some of the executives at happened to be at HIMSS. They happened to be also there. I spoke with them, asked them how it worked, some of the developers, designers, and they were able to assure me that none of that was happening, which that made me feel better. But at the same time, somebody who's not going to HIMSS and doesn't have access to a developer from that app, it would be nice for them to be able to ask a physician, what's happening with my information, and the end user to say it's not being used any.
So how was it being stored or utilized? What systems?
So I don't want to get into it too much because it may be proprietary. But what they were able to tell me is that it's stored locally until the note is generated. Once the note's generated, it goes away.